So they finally did it. Notion has created Notion Calendar. Well, kind of, sort of. Actually, Notion acquired Cron, a calendar app, I think it's about a year ago now. And they have, I guess, now decided to rename it Notion Calendar with some additional features. And when they acquired Cron about a year ago, we were all very excited in the Notion workspace. We were like, yes, finally we're going to have a calendar. We're going to be able to have our tasks on there, be have a little planner and everything. And though we're not quite there yet, it is a good first step. So as you see here, I have opened up Notion Calendar on my Mac. Now, I'm not sure if this is true in the PC world. I do have it on my PC at work, but I do know down here in the bottom here, the Cron app is now, the calendar icon down here in the taskbar has changed from the Cron red logo-ish down here to the black Notion calendar icon, and now has been renamed Notion Calendar. And it has a date down here at the bottom that reflects whatever day you're on. Now, I think in the PC world, it just stays number 31, but I could be wrong. It could change. Who really knows? But in the Mac world, it does change to whatever day you're on down here. I'm not really sure that really matters, but there it is anyways, right? But if you look here on Cron or Notion Calendar, you now have the ability to attach your Notion database calendars to the Notion Calendar app. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say, for instance, you have created yourself a to-do list in Notion, right? And in that to-do list, you've created a calendar. Well, all your action items or your to-do list items, what are the dates that are there for that to-do list that is associated with that calendar, will now show up here in Notion if you attach it to Notion. And so you can have different kind of calendars. Like, for instance, as you see here, I have my action items calendar and I have my master content tracker, which is for my content creation for these YouTube channels and such. So you can create as many you want here based upon what you have already set up in Notion. Now, one little caveat to that is, let's say, for instance, you have a Notion database and you have your to-do list in there, right? And on your main database of your to-do list, you just have a table, right? But then in your linked views elsewhere in your Notion workspace, you have your table view, but you also have another tab for a calendar view, right? That's not going to show up here in Notion Calendar. It's not going to show up. What you have to do is create that calendar on your main database of your to-do list or whatever list that you have, database list that you have that you want to have a calendar associated with this Notion calendar. You're going to have to create it in the original database, which isn't too hard to do, but just an FYI for those that say, well, I've attached it to my action item database, but it's not showing up in Cron or Notion Calendar, as it's called now. You'll probably hear me call it Cron quite a few times. But anyways, you just have to attach it to your original database. But with that being said, like I say, it does come on over. Like I say, it's a good first step, but it's lacking a few things, okay? So as you see here on today, the 27th, I have recorded and edit batch videos, right? But also have Notion Calendar, and we're recording that now. Well, if you see, when I click on that, I can move it around, right? Move it up to here, move it over here, right? Move it over here. Whatever I want to do with it, I can move it around. But if you know over here in the right-hand side over here, you'll see that there's the days and times, and there's the date, right? And there's the calendar from Notion that it's attached to. But that's all the properties you get. Now, if you look at a regular calendar, it just looks like this. All of the event data is over here. You can add stuff to it, add descriptions. You can do all kinds of stuff, right? Make it a repeat every day, put in the times, date, all day, whatever you want to do. Participants. You can even create a link inside of Cron for like a Zoom call or what have you. You can do all kinds of things in here, but the actual tasks have very limited properties to change. So they put a link here, open it up in Notion, right? So let's say, for instance, I wanted to open up this Notion calendar. It's here, a brief overview. If I want to open that up, then I can open it up in Notion here. And then I can change whatever I need to change in there. Now, it would be nice if Notion will, and I'm sure they will, because this is probably just the first step that they are doing right now. But it would be nice if they would have other properties in here that you could change, like priority and stuff like that, that you could change and stuff. But right now, it's the first good step. You can, like I say, move this to another day or what have you. And when you do that, it does change. Now, this is another problem, though. You see what happened there? I moved it over here, and it jumped back over here. There's still glitches in the system. So it's not exactly perfect. But when you move it over here, maybe it'll stay this time. It will refresh over to the original Notion database. When you open it up, you'll see now it is switched to the next day right here. Okay? So this is kind of the cool thing with Notion Calendar. There's all kinds of other stuff. And like I say, typically when you look at the settings here, the typical calendars that right now you can attach to Notion Calendar is Google Calendar. Now, I'm sure they're going to be coming out with a way to integrate other calendars into this, but for right now, it's just mainly set aside for Google Calendar. Down here in integrations, you have your Notion where you can attach your Notion workspace. And like I say, in this Notion calendar, if you are on, let's say, for instance, maybe I'm on my evening routine, right? You can attach a Notion database or a page right here inside of this time block, right? So this evening routine, I have this set up, and all I have to do now is just click on this evening routine, and it automatically takes me to my evening routine page where I can now create my new evening routine and go ahead and mark those off as I complete those, right? So that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty neat. So you can attach different things to your events. Maybe you have a scheduled meeting coming up. You're meeting with the bankers or what have you, and you need some documents. You can have those documents on there. Maybe you have a Zoom call where you need to have documents assigned to that thing so you don't have to go search for them later on when you get to that Zoom call, right? So these are certain things that you can take care of inside of Google, or actually Notion Calendar, right? Now, with that being said, everything else is pretty much self-explanatory as far as Notion Calendar goes. It pretty much acts like pretty much any other calendar out there. The one cool thing I do like about Notion Calendar is I can have a 4-day view here, which most calendars I can't have. And you can just do that by selecting the number 4 here. Or you can go up here to days like this. Or you can go to weeks. Or you can go to months. Okay? Another cool thing you can do is if you hit the number, say 5, it'll take you to a 5-day view. Number 7, it'll take you to a 7-day view. If you want to go to a 4-day view, it'll go to a 4-day view just by hitting the number 4. So you can do that 1 through 9, I believe it is. If I look up here, I can see the number of days. So it goes 2 all the way to 9 days, right? So you can do that with Notion Calendar. It's pretty cool, I think. Like I say, go to weeks here. You can go to months. And I think months, to be honest with you, months, I don't really typically use that often because there's too much stuff on here for me to even be able to focus with my eyes. But I do like the week view, and I do like going to, say, 4 days, right? I like that kind of view. That's pretty cool. And like I say, you can uncheck these or unview them if you want to take them off of your calendar. You can move this back over here, which I'll do right now. And so that's pretty much a brief overview of Notion Calendar. I know it's kind of a short episode, but I did kind of want to go over just some of these things that you can do inside of Notion Calendar. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this brief overview of Notion Calendar. And if you did and you want to see more of these episodes in the near future, don't forget to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button. And with that being said, I want to wish you all a wonderful week, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care.